Hey, what's up, gamers? Enforcer5150 here, and we're going to go ahead and do some beginner tips and just a good way to start out Manor Lords. Just give us a few beginner's guides, get some of the main things, how to get your things going in the first year. Now, one thing you want to do is hold tab. If you hold tab, I did not know this until a while after playing, is that you can hold tab and you can get some information about everything that you have. Gives you how many, cattle and everything. Good information here. But anyway, we also want to take a quick look at our map that we get, because you'll start in different areas. You see this one, I'm in the corner here. I've started over here before and over here and started all these places. But what we're going to want to do here is make sure our game is paused, just to get our first things out. But before I do that, I want to show a few tips as far as building your burgage slots. Now, for burgage slots, you can actually create them under the residential. You go into burgage slot plot, and then if you go if you go just one over like this, and then you want to build it up like that, and you see that there is the little part on the top there where it shows that it has a little construction sign. That's when you can actually expand your property. The longer that this is, the better or more crops it can yield. So if you're creating vegetables and stuff like that, if you make it really long here, it will create more vegetables. Now, another thing here with the plots is you see that it has one little house there on the bottom. That one little house means one family will be able to move in. Now, we can also go over two instead of one. Now, if you do this on like a road, it'll show two little dots and stuff like that. So if we go two over, and then we come up and we go at a slight angle, if we go a slight angle like this, and then come over, you can see it has a little house with a plus on it. Now, a little house with a plus on it actually makes it so that two families can move into this one plot. And the good thing about this is that each plot will use one food and one fuel. Now, if you have just one house there, it's still going to use one food and one fuel. If you have two houses there with two families in it, it still will only use one food and one fuel. So it's always good to make sure that you're creating double plots like this so that you can utilize your resources better for food and fuel. Now, when we're starting out here, we want to survey the land that we have. We're given. We have different spots. Usually we have our wild animals, and then we have our berry deposits, which you can see that is growing right now. If you're starting in the spring, usually it will be just growing. And then you'll also have stuff like your stone deposit, your clay deposit, and you'll have the iron deposit over here. Now, these three you don't have to worry about too much until a little bit later on after your first year. The first year you won't need them too much unless you're trying to just make money through trade. So what we're going to do here is we want to make sure we have ways for our roads to go to places we want. But what places do we want? One thing I always like to also do is go under farming and survey with this here, the overlay. If you click on the farming part, you'll have these overlays. So you can look at your underground water, which is where you're going to want to make sure to put your wells. But you also have the emmer fertility, you have the flax fertility, barley, and rye. Your main thing you're going to worry about right away is the emmer, which is going to, produce, wheat and everything else. Now, if you look over here, we have double pluses. We have pluses, we have minuses, and we did not get that good of a land here for this. We have a lot of the stuff that's in wooded areas that needs to be chopped down yet. We have some double pluses in here. We don't have any triple pluses in this one. That kind of sucks, but that's all right. We can still manage quite well with this one. So seeing that we only have the double pluses here, we do want to look up in the double plus area. Now, this is going to be a good spot for our farm. So when we want to build our roads, we want to make sure we have a road that comes out to this area. So we're just going to go ahead and look at where this is going to go. So our main place is here. Roads are coming down this way. So we'll probably just go ahead and create a road that comes out over here. so that, and then one that comes down from here down to here. So I'm looking at these two little trees right around there. We're going to build a road that comes down into our main area. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we're going to build a road just going right into town, coming right around this stuff, and then we want it to go to the main road over here. Now, a lot of these little plots, we're going to want to make sure that everything can go to a market. So if we start out here, we want to make sure that we start out with our market first, and then we're going to start building out with our residential plots. So let's go ahead and look at where our market will be, which will be right here. Now the marketplace isn't bad to create right away because it doesn't cost you anything. So we'll go ahead and just build a little market. Now I usually will make it about 4 to, or actually I do about 6 to 9. But usually you really don't need any more right away than, 5 to 6. So we'll go ahead and create that. It's already 12. we'll create one for 12. That'll be plenty of enough room for all of our markets. All right, so our next thing we're going to do is just make sure we look at where we want to start cutting down trees. Now we have a kind of a messed up area here where we have the animals here, and we don't want to create too close to the animals. We're like right by them. They're going to end up migrating down this way or over here anyway. But I think our better bet is going to be starting out over here. Around where the berry plants are. So let's go ahead and we're going to start out with our lodging camp. Now your lodging camp you can find under the gathering, and then we'll go ahead and place that somewhere over here, and we're going to think about where our road's going to go. We want our road to come up this way, and now we're going to have our lodging camp, but we're also going to have our berry pickers over here. So we'll probably want our road to be able to come through here and then up to here, and then also get on over to where our farm will be later on. So we'll go ahead and just put our camp right there, and then we want to build our road right away. We're still paused right now. We don't want to get too close to our animals. We don't want them to migrate right away. We'll just go ahead and make a straight road here, right on into town. Now the next thing you want to do is make sure you put a storehouse that is close by. I know you want to also have one in town, but mostly you're going to have your pantry and everything more in town. But for here, we're going to put our storehouse right on the edge here, and that should use up most of what we have for our wood, except for our well. We want to make sure we have our well right away. So that's the next thing we will create is the well. Go ahead and put that down. We got one. It only costs 1 wood. Now we can put it almost anywhere here, but we do want it on a road. Well, we're going to probably be building, this is right across from our market, so we don't want it right there. So let's go ahead and put this out a little bit and then build our road into it. All right, we got that down, put our road right on into it there. There we go. All right, now you see that we have 3 timber left before we start going. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and press the play button and start letting them actually start working. Because what we want them to do is actually work on this stuff, because we're gonna put 2 families in here right away. All right, so the next thing we want to do is create a woodcutter's lodge. So if we create that, they're able to make us fuel, which we're gonna need like right away. Right away in the beginning, you want to make sure that you can make fuel. You can do that by creating firewood. So we'll go ahead and put that in the same area as where our wood cutting is. So basically all this stuff can be done all by itself. It has its own little mini economy over here. All right, now that we have that done, we want to decide if we're going to use the forager hut or if we want to use the hunting camp. Seeing that the hunting camp is a lot closer right now, I think it would be the better way to go, and we can see that our berry deposit is still growing. So we don't want to go ahead and pick that right away because we're not going to get enough out of it, and we only want to create one of them in the very beginning. So we'll go ahead and go under our construction, and then we can go back to gathering, and we should have our hunting lodge or hunting camp here. Now we want to make sure we don't place it in there. It'll give you a little warning. It says it will cause migration if you're right on it. If we put this right on the road here, that's plenty actually close enough. So this was perfect for our setup. Now we're going to go ahead and speed up time a little bit and let them kind of go through everything. All right, so after our first lodging camp gets built, we want to go ahead and put 2 families in there right away. And then we're going to go ahead and go to our storehouse, and we're going to put 1 family in here right away. Now, remember, we're going to need to have a pantry as well. All right, so our next thing we're going to create is the pantry, as I was mentioning, and we can find that, I believe, under logistics. So the Garni. We'll go ahead and we want to put this one in town because this is going to be more done with a lot of our residential areas and our marketplace. So we'll go ahead and probably put it on this side, seeing that we're going to be building our residential area out this way and probably down this way after it gets cut down a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and put it over here so that it's kind of close. And now once this gets done, we want to go ahead and add a family to it right away. So then we will have 1 family left. Now you want to make sure you always have at least 1 family on assigned so they can always build. All right, so our pantry is ready. We'll go ahead and put 1 person in there. And now we have that done, our lodging is going with 2 people in it. Or 2 families in it. That's where we're going to start getting our timber. Our timber is going to start coming back. And now we have 4 timber. We can start building our family plot. All right. So now, like as I was mentioning before, we'll go ahead and go to our residential. And we want our burgage plots here. And I think I'm going to build them up this way. Seeing that we want this wooded area to not be taken over right away. And it's really close to, the animals. We don't want them to migrate too early on. So we'll go ahead and, as we were mentioning before, we'll go ahead and do 2 slots over. And then we're going to make these really long. So actually, I'm going to go from here. We'll go 2 over this way. Go over that way. And then we're going to come way up here. And then, actually, we're going to go up a little bit more. We're going to go like that. We want a lot of yield in our beginning plots here. So we'll go ahead and put it maybe right there. And as you see, it still only costs 2, and we'll be able to fit 2 families in there. And we'll do the same over here, and we do go through some trees, but that's okay because we're not really going to lodge that little amount of tree. So we'll have 2 over, and then we want to go. Yeah, I like going it the other way. I like going 2 inward. That way I can see exactly where it's going to go. Yep, and you see right there, because if you go too far, it'll create 2 of them. So we're going to create this one kind of large so that we don't have the road like we did before. So we want to go as much as we can there. And then we're going to let that build. And like what we want to do is we want to have 3 of them because now that we have those, we have 5 different families. Right now we can occupy 4 once this builds up. So we want to make sure we can occupy 6 plus, or we want to occupy 5 plus 1. So we're going to go 2 over again. Over to here and right up to there, and then we're going to do the same thing and try to get as much yield as we can out of this one. Go ahead and build. Then we'll go ahead and let this build up real quick. All right, now that we have our first one done here, we can see that our settlers are moving in. Now you're gonna have a little bit of negative approval. That's because of the homelessness, because we didn't have any we didn't have any housing for them yet. So we're gonna go ahead here and we're gonna click this here, which takes 2 timber, and this is what was gonna double the maximum family count for this burgage plot. And that's what we want for each one of these. That way, now we'll be able to have 6 in each plot. All right, so now that the first construction is complete here, you'll notice that it gives you this little icon flashing. Now what that means is that you're able to now create something. Now each one of these costs 15 for vegetables, and it costs 25 for a chicken coop, which will give you eggs. We kind of want vegetables at the start because 25 is a lot. What you have up here are all your different ratings and stuff like that, but you have your regional wealth. Now this is just how much kind of like money that you use in between different regions and everything. So it's how much you can really spend on things. And you start out with 50. So when you're starting out with 50, you want to kind of limit how much you're actually using. So we're going to go ahead and create the vegetable gardens for each one of these. All right, so now that we have all of these set up, it's going to be kind of a waiting game for these to get completed. Because right now, we went ahead and we upgraded all 3 of these. So now that we have everything that we need to start with, what we can actually do is take one of these timber guys out, and then we're going to go ahead and put them on the hunting camp. That way, we'll be able to start generating some food from our wild animals. So that should definitely help with our current food shortage. Because like you see here, we have 1 month left for food. And having this hunting camp up, we should be able to generate a little bit of food before we completely run off and starve to death. All right, so we did run into an issue here. We were a little bit too close, which I was kind of worried about, to the animals, and they did migrate out a little bit. But there's no worry because our hunting camp is right here. They'll still be able to come out here a little bit. Sometimes I will try to create a road that gets a little bit closer, but this is actually plenty far enough where they'll still be able to hunt and everything. But now we have almost a year going by, not a full year. We're still in summer, and we're still in year 1. As you can see, we're starting to now build a little bit of food. We also have a few families from here. You're going to start to create a few things as far as your trade and everything else, and start building. Now that we have the plenty of lumber and we have everything coming in. Once you have another family member that comes in, because this is going to go over 50%, and once this goes over 50%, people will start coming in and living in your plot. And at that point, you want to go ahead and start building more burgage slots so that you can house more people. But I think that's going to be enough for our beginner's guide today, because from here you should be okay for the next year. Mostly the next is going to be what you want to do with your trades and some of your other buildings that you want to start, such as your farm and everything else, and I think we'll do that in the next video. Anyway, I do want to mention that we have a 10 a.m. No commentary. Usually it's been Helldivers 2, and then we also have another 6 p.m. upload, which will be videos like this one. If you want to see more help videos like this one, definitely hit that like button and let us know in the comments below. And yeah, we keep trying to keep a 6 p.m. video going up, and sometimes a 9 p.m. if we have the time. Anyway, I hope that this video helped you all out and you're able to get a little better start in your next manor. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this video today. Make sure you hit that like button down. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. You all take care and happy gaming.